Yo, is that's wrong. That's wrong. Hold up. It do kind of even Tuesday. Man. All right. Well, here we are. What's up, gamers? So I don't really have like a lot planned. The first plan is the remake versus original tournament. Okay. What do we have up? So it is the now remake versus originals. Now there will be a lot of these where my remake will lose. Like a lot of the ranged units. As if I didn't give them enough HP to survive one shot, it doesn't really matter. Well, first off, we have the vampires versus each other. Now, vampire, heavier, more damage, faster, more HP, more expensive. Everything is more expensive. This is also one that probably won't go my way. Unless it does. Of course, their role is, like, not to 1v1 each other. This is, like, you know, a comparison. Yeah, that is mine. I do see the appeal of having um one of them over the other. Next up will be the Pharaoh. Three of mine versus four of the enemy, four of the base game. More HP, they have the hover. They have so much more HP. Okay. That will be the Pharaoh done. And I should actually probably just go ahead and get. Is this better? Let's try that. Let's run this again. Let's run a double elimination. Set that for now. Uh-huh. Well, my Chrome is crashing now. Okay, so now we'll go back, add this. So we've already had the Pharaoh take it. Okay. Let's actually take it like step by step now. As probably what should have happened. Okay, so we have the Spear Thrower versus Spear Thrower. This is almost certainly one that's not gonna go our way. I feel like these are going to one-shot each other, and then because the base game has 5, and I have 4, I lose. That definitely does not help if we all miss. Yeah, they definitely do. Like I said, more HP. This one is kind of here, but like the Shaman has an entirely new attack as opposed to the Bone Mage. And it's honestly, yeah, that was not even close. So we have the Chieftains versus the Chieftains. I do probably need to give like the Shaman a new look or something. A lot more HP. The second axe has been replaced. Speed boost to more HP. Heavier. The new ability in the Night Charge. That's both. I couldn't think of anything else. Like, I could maybe do. Okay, hold on a second here, because we still have the, So looking at it, we can also throw in the Pelter and the Club Warrior. Because they're close enough to the base game counterparts here, like in the Pelter versus Stoner case. Both of them are cheap rock throwers. Then in the other case, it is the combination of the two units. Or, well, something similar enough. Yeah, Stoner gets the first shot off, but then they just kind of melt like that. And so this combo is 150. Which means we need 4 of this combo. 4 of the Protector. No, we don't. Hold on a second, because this is 250. I think it'll be 6? This is probably gonna go to them, because just having the sheer quantity. Three versus 10. Like, they have to do a lot of work. Ooh, I gave him a dodge? There's 140 of them. I can't remember what I gave every single thing. Oh, they're actually gonna win this. Round 2. I would try, like, Tribal King versus Mammoth, but that is such a vastly different role that they fill. I also can't do anything for the Scout or for the Tamer, because they don't have any of their roles. Which means that they really... Wow. Out of the 5 matchups between Tribal and Tribal Remake, Tribal Remake has won 4 of them. Okay, Farmers versus Farmers. A lot of the cheap units, I feel like, are going to be ones that end up winning. This is 8 farmers that have, like, more HP versus, what, 15 farmers? They have to win a 2v1 effectively. It looks possible, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be likely to happen. Base game farmer takes game 1. No, they've definitely taken game 2. They have kind of overwhelmed base game farmer this time. Because they can, pretty crucially, looks like, survive 1 hit, maybe even 2 from the Pitchfork, while the base game farmer can't survive the hit. So in that initial, they can kind of trade their way towards victory. Like when you have an advantage in chess. Which does mean that the remake farmer is able to win. Next up will be the two hay balers against each other. Now this one really doesn't make any sense because their role is to be a projectile absorber rather than an actual fighter. But alas, we do have to figure out which one of them is better. Yeah, it looks like the remakes will always be red, and the base game will always be blue. Can very much so survive a hit, and pretty easily survive too, whereas base game falls to 2 hits. They only had like the one extra number. Now this is one I'm not looking forward to, despite having like given it a very noticeable different version. The halfling now has a sword in my version. But they are just kind of getting overwhelmed. It was pretty close. I'm surprised that the base halfling can actually survive a hit sometimes. Is he gonna solo this one? That is quite the interesting fight that they can have. Red's doing well over there, and then this one's doing, well, not great. What a shot! Dude, that top one was carrying. There is definitely a use for the base game one. This is also a masterclass in the difference between base game and created units. Okay. Well, there's going to be a lot of potions on the map here. And, well, the difference between them is that mine backs up. And also has more HP. Yeah, less of red are going to die in the initial volley. And for only like 10 more gold costs, that is quite worth it. Now this one is also one I'm nervous with because the Harvester was already a really good unit. Yeah, more HP. I think mine's also usually bigger. Maybe it's the same size. But their main thing is they have a new projectile block, which removes one of the Harvester's weaknesses. Oh my gosh. I can see it. Because they're still really good melee v melee units. Like, just kind of having more is a better advantage. This is really not the music for this. Wow, Red wins. Yeah, this is a bit more appropriate. All right, Red wins. Game two. Game two. Who gets it in game two? You have a huge pile of base game harvesters over here. You have only two remake harvesters left. This one's in its 3v1. They can get another hit. Oh, just like that. The remake is won. Now then, the difference. This is technically the same unit. Need to grab a legacy here. Like, they kind of serve a different purpose. Or, like, do different things, because they will. The Traveler now jumps in instead of uh, rolling around the wheelbarrow. And, like, the Apple Thrower will be able to put in a lot more work. It's one left. He is trying so hard to get there. The Apple takes it down. Game one goes to base game. Could have maybe done a two-stage tournament with like groups that are two participants each, but that would have been a lot to go with. It's the Apple Throwers that need to put in a lot of the work here. There's two Apple Throwers left, one Apple Thrower left. What happened? Where did the other one go? Let's go. Game three though. We have a we have an actual fight on our hands. We're even in an arena. Oh my gosh, back to my childhood with this one. Yeah, they're in a pile up over here. It's one Apple Thor left. They take it down. That's a win for the base game. Next up, the Scarecrows. Now, unless they can actually fear away the crows, I don't see this going very well for the remake Scarecrow. Yeah, they didn't. This is one of the quintessential matchups of like why some of mine aren't going to do well. Because they pretty much do one-shot each other, and just having more is so much better. So that's twice in a row. The Wizard. Now these don't one-shot each other. Also, they need probably a new book. Is theirs taller as well? I think theirs is taller. Yeah, mine has now a projectile block, but you can't really block the lightning. It's a 3v1 again. Yeah. Yeah, alright. That's some nice and generous wins for the base game. Stop. The peasants versus the peasants. Now, this is one where mine actually has a numbers advantage. Despite I'm pretty sure my peasants having more HP than the base game peasants. Oh, this is gonna be really luck dependent because they just one-shot each other. Yeah, like that. Luck dependent. Huh. Nice job, base game peasant. The base game archer versus like my camouflaged archer, but there's like no actual difference between the two. Oh yeah, that is exactly what I meant when I said that ranged units were probably going to be the base game's savior. Okay. So that's another base game win for the. It's another base game win. To be expected, honestly. Squires. I believe these Squires have projectile dodge or block. I don't think they have a melee parry. But they have health high enough to not get one shot by their sword, which is definitely big. Game 2. That's pretty fair. The remake Squire takes it. Yeah, they're gonna get the first shot off because they have longer range. And then they're gonna get winged by a cat by the rock and not even care. Game 1 goes to base game. Game 2 goes to remake. Game 3, one catapult is down. There are 2 throwers left. It's 1v1. It all comes down to the catapult throwers next rock. And he's crushed it. Okay, Executioner versus Executioner, which means I need to pop in the secret. More HP and the fear ability to keep them away and make it so that they can actually single one out. One base game down. Base game putting up a real nice fight for this one. It's a 2v1. They both have one shot in them. It's one miss. Base game takes game 1. Game 2, who's gonna take it this time? Looks like it's gonna be base game again. See, this is the issue with fear, dude. Well, this is also a bit of an impasse here because the Knight is technically the remake, although actually nah, I think I can get away with that. Okay, let's see here. So we can do uh and then base game one, the Executioner Ditto. Okay, so we can have the Footman versus Knight matchup, which means we need to have like what, 13 Footmen and then 12 Knights here. Because the Footman is also kind of the Knight. And see, this one wasn't really close, but I'm not ashamed of that. Unless this one clutches up. No. Close. That's not how you guys hold shields. Dude, that initial clash is absolutely brutal for both sides. Ragdoll's going everywhere, dude. Here's another one. Remake might clutch this one up. Remake does clutch this one up. Meaning we have to move on to game 3. We have a pretty nice pocket of normal footmen over there. Of footmen, and then the rest of the knights meeting them in the center. And the footmen able to clutch it out again. Wow. I'm kind of shocked with that one. But we now have the other event. Which is Cavalry versus the Standard Knight. Or, well, the Remake Knight. It's not even close. King Fallens versus the King. Again, very strong unit. I mean, this is the medieval boss unit. If they somehow find the way to win this, I would not be surprised. After all, the last level of the remake medieval remake campaign does see Fallen 1v3. It's not looking good for him. He's so much better against ranged units than the normal King is. I'm pretty sure Fallen can even tank a Ballista Bolt. He can block a lot. He's got the Shogun block, and he's got the speed boost to make the distance even faster. Like 3v1, the Giant Claymore is just able to cut through his HP. Kudos to you, base game. That is your win. Infantry versus Sarissa. This is another one where just having more is probably going to be super beneficial. Oh! That must have hurt him. This one's also not gonna go great. Because we're just outnumbered. They actually managed to get the first shot off, somehow. If they can get the first shot off again, then they have a chance. So many snakes just... That one just feels like luck. Take picture. Fix it. This is another one where I feel like them having so many is gonna result in their victory. Hoplite versus Hoplite. In fact, I do remember this being one I specifically tested, like, before. Well, that was before. That was the first version of the Hoplite. But yeah, that first version of the Hoplite did not win against the base game.
Some people just don't get it, that Squarespace isn't just for websites. You can get a domain from Squarespace too. It's kind of like how your parents don't get how you make a living off your art, but you do. And with a domain like existentialglitter.com and a website from Squarespace, you can build a brand for yourself, grow your client list, and continue to confuse your parents all in one place. Get yours before it's gone with offer code MAKEITREAL for 10% off your domain or website. Terms and conditions apply.
This one is just kind of unfortunate for the normal ballista. So yeah, we get the shot off way faster. But even if it didn't, like, they just one-shot each other. I'm not sure if the range advantage would be enough. Well, I suppose there is only one way to find out. That we'll get a crucial first shot off. And that is almost entirely what I expected to happen. It actually probably does matter, because they do get a first shot off every time. Meaning that they can take out 7 Ballista Archers very reliably. Yeah, look at that, 7 again. I'm not mad about this. They do have such long range, and they do still launch that Ballista Bolt. Minotaur versus Minotaur. Except, really not. Yeah, dude, I would have loved having the Minotaur base to actually do something with. Rather than have to do this frickin' wobbly mess here. Here's a big one. Zeus versus Zeus. I claimed in the level that the remake Zeus was here to show how it's really done. Did I succeed? Yeah, because aside from, crossing over double now, like, it should just be all upgrades for Zeus. He's got so much more HP to work with, he's got such a better crowd control ability, and also a really nice 1v1 ability. Anti-projectile. Like, he's got it all now. That means we now have Last Up Artemis v Artemis. $11 versus 16. A little dodge here, and they have double bow. Yeah, and they can just mow her down. I really don't want to run this on the map. Because I don't think the outcome really changes. Like, mine is just so much cheaper. The Raider versus the Shouter. Why did mine end up taking damage? Is it from fall damage? Because the shell doesn't deal damage by itself. So there's something with mine that end up taking damage. Oh. Yeah, that is what I expected. Ice Archer versus Ice Archer. I think that the base game just wins because there's more of them. Yeah, 2 down. Yup. Alright. I don't need to see anymore. Berserker versus Berserker. Remake Berserker takes game 1. I was fixing the music. Couldn't even see what happened. They both jump in. It just kind of looks like they're just faster. Which leads to them taking the victory there.
A 71 of 5 underscore says, yellow.
Hello. "13 versus 18 with the Ice Mages. And if they can survive the initial barrage, I think this is really over. Oh yeah, like that. Uller and Uller. Man. Remember when Uller was the most broken unit in the game? That was quite some time ago. "15 versus 11. Oh, hello, A7. Dude, having a numbers advantage was pretty big for them in this one. Hmm. Back to simulation we go, because this is going to require what? So that's 2,000. 13 groups of each. Yeah, alright. No, I can't reduce that. Because it's technically like 10 versus 13. Valgarl versus the Valkyrie and Jarl. It's gonna be the Valkyrie that takes a lot of abuse first off. And then it's gonna come down to the two girls versing each other. Dude, it kind of looks like their in range is a bit too much for the base games. With the added increase of HP, making them able to get enraged off more. Red victory, so Valgarl takes game 1. So how's it going, A7? Looks like the Jarl's gonna take game 2. Gonna be able to. Maybe? Maybe? So many of them just went down. Yeah, the Valgarl can just kind of wait out the enrage, too. That's really good for them. Oh, God, 22 versus 65. Okay, these two should just kind of evaporate. And then Remake Thor gets to jump in there and just kind of start causing havoc. Some of them are already enraged. And if they can enrage through the second volley like that, that's just it. You know, we can see if a 3v1 would be a bit fair. He two-shots them. And they don't even get close to doing the same back, let alone with Enrage in the picture. What an increase of power for Thor. Dynasty versus Dynasty. somebody in blue lived and then just died in that second strike. Behind the back! Dude, I have so many ads coming from freaking the web tournament website. That's what's causing all of the different lag spikes. Game 3, because base game 1, game 2. No, they have completely dominated game 3. So, how much does the Firework Archer Cucumber meat combo cost? 530. So we're gonna need 53 Chuko Fireworks. Then what is it? 25 of each of these? Yeah, wow, look at that. Chuko Firework versus the Chuko New and Firework Archer. Lots of units flying around. Yeah, the Chuko New couldn't take down enough of them. That is quite a cinematic shot. And then, yeah, all of the missed fireworks, too, do so much against the normal Firework Archer. It just doesn't become close. Martial artist versus taekwondo. Yeah, it's just he who kicks first wins. It is actually just he who kicks first, and just, well, mine didn't want to kick first. Monk versus Monk. It's so much tankier. And like the Kurama bow also does more damage. And I'm also pretty sure mine looks cooler. Yeah, yeah. The Hwacha versus the Horcher. Close. Dude, they can definitely win this. By they, I mean the Hwacha. Just a bit too far. The monk? The Horcher. Then we'll do a bit more than just 1v2. Keep things a bit more interesting. Does it even win the 1v2? I don't feel like it does. It indeed does not. The Shogun versus the Shogun. Yep, the Shogun, the base game Shogun gets like almost one shot, whereas mine gets like 2 to 3 shot. And then they can be immune to each other's Hurricane Slashes, which is huge. What a dodge. Comes down to this 1v1 here. Remake Shogun takes it. As you should expect from a Shogun that just has more HP and also just more in general of everything. Now, Embracer, this is also one I tested, and like, Sensei Red Jade, or Red Jade Sensei, just kind of mopped. Yeah, it's not even close. And last up, we will have the Monkey King versus the Monkey King. They can make more clones, but they're also so much frailer. It just wasn't close. Go figure, another like fully buffed unit just kind of ruins the base game version of it. Next up will be the Renaissance. Apparently this is the first matchup. Getting the big one out of the way. Da Vinci versus Da Vinci. Did I make him better than he is without his tank? Or than he is with his tank? I mean, normal Da Vinci's gonna have a hard time hitting him in the first place.
With YouTube Premium, you can watch ad-free, offline, and in the back.
Yeah, this is quite a long fight. One Da Vinci tank down, that doesn't look good for them. There's one Da Vinci almost low, but that one over there is at like full. These two are under half, and then two are way above half. This Da Vinci tank is at like half HP. Yeah, there they go. Jouster versus Jouster, go. It should be pretty similar to the Knight versus Cavalry matchup. Yeah. Halberd versus Halberd. Yeah, mine can dodge. We are officially like over halfway through the stage process of this. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure the base game Musketeer is gonna win this one. Because there's more of it to do something with. And like mine doesn't have any like anti-range capabilities. Yup. Balloon Grab versus Ballooner. Well, that seems mostly luck. Like, with the headbutt, there's no way they actually... The Lunar just doesn't deal damage, like, by itself. Yeah, it would have been really bad if a unit that got turned into a boss managed to lose one of the fight to their base game counterpart. Yeah, new pants and, like, wrist gauntlets. Man, this one could have gone either way. Oh, that doesn't seem fair. Oh, never mind, it's fair. They managed to get it done. Fencer versus Fencer. It is, and this one is another one where it seems like just because there's more of them. Yup. Okay, the initial clash is met with 3 fencers dead. Yeah, how did it go so smoothly the second time and was a complete disaster the first time? Initial clash is met with, again, 3 dead base game fencers. I don't think I could put most of the remakes into, like, the normal tournament series. We'll see, though. It's like, they don't really match up against stuff like Sans, or Story Shift Kara, or Sarvent, or Madara Uchiha. Or is it Uchiha? I don't know, I never watched Naruto. It's really close. Good parry. Good dodge, parry. What a duel! What a duel! They are going at it. And red finally wins. Painter v. Painter. This kind of looks like one where it's just the sheer number of normal painters is going to overwhelm the increased HP. And in the process of saying that sentence, they've turned it around. Remake gets game 1. I mean, it comes down to how often they can hit with the palette, because that does like, not like 1 shots the base game and 2 shots the remake. Whereas, yeah, the little brush, that's just, that's just chip damage. And that's the base game painter taking it. Did I even make them look different? Okay, yeah, you can see a difference. In the hair, especially. Yeah, the main thing is that the Raider is going to get the second shot. Just like that. Moving on to the Blunderbuss. And there is not really much I can change with this one. I gave him a shirt. You know, having a ranged unit that is mostly immune to ranged damage, fight against another ranged unit that's mostly immune to ranged damage, is not the smartest thing I've done today. But I actually say the smartest thing I've done today is resetting this tournament to be better. Hey, did I give him different hair? Kind of looks like I did. Kind of a lighter hair color. It's almost a 3v1 here. Oh my gosh, dude, this is like the Fencer v Fencer fight and just how long it's gonna take. Oh, 2v2. Blank to that shot. Blanked double shot. Both of those shots blanked. Another blank shot. Another. Blues down, base game's down to 1 Blunderbuss left. Both are down to 1 Blunderbuss left. Aren't mine also a lot more jittery? This team's gonna win, isn't it? Wow. What a fight. And now if these two just kind of one-shot each other, then it's Space Games win. They absolutely did not one-shot each other. In fact, they didn't even really come close. Oh yeah, that's a vastly different look. And the Harpooner versus the Harpoon God. Dude, the combo of just the headbutt with the Harpoon gun is so deadly. It's so ruinous for like a single unit, but there are two harpooners for each of my harpoon gun. Like they get to kick too. Cannoneer versus the Cannon. The Cannon Barrage outranges the normal cannon. Like, just barely, so there's no way they were gonna lose that. The base game clams taller? I think they are. Clam Jam manages to take it. Oh. Clam Jam gets 2 shots by the clams. And the base game clam gets 1 shot by them. That's huge. And also super luck dependent. Yeah, Clam is significantly taller. Oh, wow. That's something you don't see much. Pretty sure this is 5v6. The captain versus the captain. My gosh, it is just whoever lands more shots with their blunderbuss just kind of ruins the other side. Oh my! What a clutch from that last base game captain. God, they are so strong. Like they both just ruin each other with 1 shot of the cannon and 1 shot of the blunderbuss pistol. What a unit! What a powerful shot! How is the captain so bad in the rankings with that? Pirate Queen versus Pirate Queen. What did I change about her? Okay, a bit of a more regal look on top. And then they all have the bomb spin, and that just really doesn't do anything for either side now. Yeah, so the Pirate Queen, oh my god, so close. The Pirate Queen herself isn't even immune to the bomb spin fall damage. It's just that she has so much health that the, like, 40 points of fall damage that she takes doesn't matter to her. Like, that one literally did die from the fall damage of the bomb spin. Anyway, Pirate Queen is able to take it. Blackbeard versus Blackbeard, and just, oh my god. You missed a bit. Friendly fire base game, be careful. That one was not even close, and I thought that one would have been a bit closer. Spooky be spooky. Yeah, I gave the fear to the archers instead. It's like a melee unit wanting to push units away from itself. It's just kind of worse. Evidenced also by how the normal Executioner beat the remake Executioner. Now this one is gonna be able to clutch up, probably. What a drop of the shield there. He didn't clutch up. See, they have the numbers advantage, and, like, they both one-shot each other. Because they have to spend time chasing, that's just worse for them. Okay, they managed to take game 2. And, like, they even get feared before being hit. All 4 of them are still alive right now. Yeah, what a waste. Like, having it on a ranged unit means that melee units getting close to that ranged unit aren't getting close anymore. Having it on a melee unit means sometimes a ranged unit can get more distance now. How did this one happen? This was one I was very confident in base game about. Because it's the same thing, just cheaper. Like, they one-shot each other. Yeah, like that. Although I guess, theoretically, being cheaper and having more of them means that there's more for the fires to spread. One to one. Yeah, how did this become one-sided like that? That's an odd one to me. Candleman versus Candlehead. And they have significantly more HP.
Adobe Creative Cloud is designed to be almost like a playground. It's a collection of applications. If you are
The Spore
more
Witch
like an
versus the
illustrator,
Standard Witch. Um, uh, um, um. That's a new interaction. Yeah, like the Witch was like one unit that could have like overcome their number difference into a numbers advantage because I mean they do summon more units. So if they hit the Broom and the Witch at this both, it just spirals out of control like that. You have a 3v3 between the two Banshee variants. Yeah, just the same thing with more HP and the same cost. It's just and this is going to be a fun one because sure there are more base game necromancers, but mine have a lot faster attack speed. What's happening? They get transformed onto one team, and then they get transformed into the other team, and then get transformed back into the other team. And what causes some of them to become archers instead? That's weird. And this one is just really unfortunate because there's no way the base game Swordcaster wins this one. His hands are literally locked up for this. I'm pretty sure just one could. Hello, giant swordcaster. This is a 30v1. Almost. Which is also insane. Let's do 23. Like, they're able to keep him back really well. And he wins a 23v1. Like, the Unleashed Swordcaster might be one of the craziest ones. Reaper v Reaper. Blue takes it down. How did they get that? Oh, did the explosions just do all that damage to him? That's 4v1. My bad. Yeah, that's red victory again. So, like, how did that work? Five versus 90. Seven v 18. Okay. The prisoner should win this. He has the Enrage after all. And if he doesn't win this, that's really embarrassing because this is another unit that got turned into a boss variant. Although that would really show the quantity versus quality. It's certainly not easy for the prisoner to take it over Ball and Chain. Like, there are 5 of them left, but they're all very low. Again, like, there's a lot of prisoners left, but they aren't in the greatest position. Well, actually, 4 of them are pretty healthy. But that last one is not. Ballin'. This Deadeye will probably take it over mine, because there's more of them. Meaning that when they trade one-shots, they come out on top. Yeah, just like that. Golly. This is the extreme version of what I was talking about. This is like my least favorite unit now, the Lasso, because God, why do you have a 740 cost? Actually, hold on a second, I can do 25. $25 versus 37. Go. How much does the horse do? Quite a lot. That's really annoying. I mean, there's not much I can do about it either, because I don't have the horse as a unit base. I'm gonna need that to die real fast. Oh, this is probably gonna be like, you know, the number advantage. I think that's... No, I'm going to disagree. That's a red victory, because the game just is biased towards blue with ties like that. Can I consider the Cavalry Archer to be close enough to the Poacher? I think I can. So, the Native and the Blow Darter. These two are together because, I mean, it's Blow Dart versus Blow Dart. Yeah, this is what I wanted from Blow Darter, not, like, down into the side. 220 is gonna be annoying. Cactus and Cactus. I don't get it, this one either. Because by all accounts, he should be essentially the same unit. And yet, the Cactus suit in the creator is vastly worse than the Cactus in base game. Like, how do they do so much better in the 3v3 than the 1v1? Then you know what? We'll do a bit of a two-part special. Dynamite and Dynamite Thrower versus Dynamite and Dynamite Thrower, and then Miner Miner. So that's Dynamite taking game one over there. And that's Miner taking game one. Base game Miner taking game one there. Okay, Dynamite has thoroughly won. And there's that. It's 1-1 with the Miner Miner. They just actually fully hit him with the big axe that time, both of them. It's a funny kill. I don't think Super Sunstrike is close enough to the Super Oxer. Oh. Hold on a second. So, Temporal Tailor and the Chronomancer. Now, I don't have, like, the base Chronomancer attack to work with. Three Chronomancers got off their transformation. Dude, there's so much light. There are so many arrows. Yeah, I don't have access to the Chronomancer attacks in the base game, which is really unfortunate. Because Lord knows what I'd be able to let my mind come up with if I had access to the Time Ninja Gauntlet in the base game. Yeah, you can't exactly dodge the Divine Arbiter orbs. That is what I kind of expected to see coming here. Pure Paladin versus the Righteous Paladin. It kind of looks like they just cause more damage to themselves with their stomp than they do to the enemy. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I wonder if that's another thing where it's like the Samurai Giant's just so big and tanky, it doesn't care about the recoil. Galleon's Glaive versus Radiant Glaive.
Some things belong on the big screen. Watch YouTube on your TV.
I should have expected a lot of this coming from like the strongest faction in the base game. Like 3 of their units have won in like the 8v8. Yeah, they aren't gonna be able to break through like anytime soon. The Righteous Brawler versus the Devout Gauntlet. It's 1-1. Wow. Base game takes that one, meaning that they won like 4 of the 8 matchups. Oh yeah, Sunspot and Super Strike. Yep. Since they won't be allowed. Oh. Can the Void Monarch do what the Chronomancer has? I don't think so because it's a melee fight now. Yeah. And I also have access to everything that the Void Monarch has in the base game. Unlike the Chronomancer. The Death Dealer versus a Death Bringer. The Reaper Tentacles are not doing anything in this matchup, aside from just adding to the look. God, they crushed them. We are almost at the end here. The Tempest of Tricks versus the Tempest Lich. I think this one is also luck dependent. The Wicked Whip versus the Infernal Whip. Which is really weird that the Infernal Whip and the Solar Architect don't cost the same amount. Like, they couldn't have increased the Infernal Whip's HP so that it could be the same cost as the Solar Architect. Yeah, and the Infernal Whip is strong, like, as a weapon. So having 5 more is kind of nuts. 5 more translates to 10 more whips. With such a heavy damaging attack like that, I'm not surprised. The Shielded Spike versus the Void's Cultist. Yeah, I mean, they just kind of outnumber them. Look at Dark go as well. The Dark Defense versus the Exiled Sentinel. I think Dark Defense just, has more HP. Exiled Sentinel takes game 1. And they take game 2. The Shadow Assassin versus Shadow Walker. Dude, what a clutch, what a clutch. Mad Mechanic and Mad Mechanic. Yeah, just more HP, and it just doesn't matter that one. Then we have the Cavalry Archer versus Poacher, as they have the Poacher Bow. Well, base game definitely did manage to put up a bit of a fight. However, we now have our participants, so we're gonna go ahead and shuffle these seeds up, reset this. Have tabs crash on me. So we have 97 units here.
Music_locker says, what the hell is this?
This is tabs. What do you mean? What is this?
Music_locker says, more like S.
Okay.
Music_locker says, JK.
Okay.
Music_locker says, life ain't been too good with me.
I am not therapy. I am not legally qualified to be therapy. Also, my game needs to come back online. Hold on.
Music_locker says, oh fuck you.
Really? Sure. Alright. Yeah, we'll just do that. Go through these. Okay. Okay, so now we have the actual tournament, which this part is no longer the important part, as we have found out what units I succeeded in remaking and what units I didn't. So now we just gotta go through these and figure out which is the best that remains. Let's see. Blackbeard versus Taekwondo. They can definitely take him down. Like, the Taekwondo... Actually, no. He has Enraged. I was gonna say, the Taekwondo kick is so powerful. But he's gonna be immune to so much of them. He's pretty low, though. They're so small that they kind of avoid his own... They kind of avoid his big ol' anchor swings, meaning he has to kick them as well. They take that and they take it down this time. Are they gonna take it down? Oh, he's back into enrage mode. He needs like 2 more kicks. This is so close for them. They take him down. Okay, so we have the Chuko fireworks. Versus the Spear Thrower, the sole representative of the tribal faction. I need to get some of these cut down. Unless he's just gonna win like this. Okay, so we have the wheelbarrow and the Deadeye. Go. serious? Okay. One 0 on Wheelbarrow. And that's 2-0 with Wheelbarrow. Scarecrow and the Clam Jam. Okay. Clam Jam takes it over the Scarecrow. Ah, screw it. It's time to just go in order here. So what? We've got 3 Valkarls, should be. Where the hell did someone like that even find me, though? Divided by 3. They're just gonna get mowed down unless they can use the ice arenas. They definitely had a chance. Not enough. As the Pelter takes it. Red Jade Sensei versus the Fencer. Honestly, why did it bother with a matchup like this? Because there's like really nothing the Fencer has. Jouster and the Harpooner. Jouster takes that pretty handily. Oh, can it? As the Jouster can eliminate both pirate units right now. The remake Jouster, that is. Will it be able to? It's looking mighty likely. Oh, you poor two souls. Pretty sure that's the normal pirate faction done. Okay. Okay, so there's two of that. A legacy should just be. What is it? Okay. Tribal, farmer, medieval, ancient, Viking, dynasty, Renaissance, spooky, Wild West, light and dark. Okay, there we go. Okay. Footman versus Chieftain. Pretty interesting matchup, as both are like one melee with a shield. They have a charge. God, the Chieftain just kind of tears him apart. It's gonna be a while before I have to move any of that. Can Egypt with the cavalry archer, and then the catapult thrower. It's not even close. Dude, they are pretty tanky, which is surprising. This one's a rough matchup for the king to try and win normally. Honestly, might be better for him this way because there's so many more kings. Like, look how low that one pirate queen is. Oh, some of the kings are already dead. That's not great for them. Half of them are dead. They sometimes just tear apart the king. Like that. Dude. Kinda crazy. How fast some of them... Like, I can't even get a sentence out before they are already dying. Farmer V2 versus the Skeleton Archer. Go. Do they die in one shot? That's really important. They do not. They die in two, though. Like, now, look how much extra time they have to shoot that one last farmer. I'm gonna skip ahead a bit. The Spear Thrower versus the Berserker. This is match number 50. So, I set this to a double elimination. Oh, God. Okay, well, the Horcher versus the Squire. Go. And they deflect that. He's not a frail unit. That was excessive. That's 2 dead. That's the Horcher taking both. Overall, I am tired. I think this is best left for another day to continue. So that being said, guys, hope you all enjoyed. As always, have a good day.